Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I know Michelle is not feeling well, but I think she planned to be here, but had asked me if I could share.
Okay.
I, sorry, I just wrapped up uh something and my email has exploded while I was
Okay, here's Michelle.
doing a thing. So give me just a second to
Yeah.
pull up the agenda again.
Hello.
Hi.
You finished early, Kate, huh?
I just wrapped up. So
If you need a break, I feel better. I don't know what was going on today, but I feel better.
there's
So
something nasty going on. I might be able to take over, but I could just use like
okay.
that was pretty intense. I could use just a minute.
Yeah,
Some
that's
water
fine.
and stuff.
That's fine. So let's see. I think we have everybody here because let's see who's missing.
Elizabeth. Oh, here she is.
Elizabeth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Because
here.
Brad
I
won't be
was
here.
just texting her
Okay.
and but I just let her in. So
Okay.
good. So all right. And so you heard from Brad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's away. He's on the West
Okay.
Coast.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
All right. So we're gonna start tonight with the minutes as we often do. We have a quorum, so everybody's here. So does anybody have any comments about August minutes?
I already found a mistake in the minutes, which I had forgotten to put Brad as a yes for approving the July meeting minutes. So I added that in.
Okay. Oh, didn't notice. Okay. The only thing I noticed was the Council on Aging, I think, is like an official council, so I think it's supposed to be capitalized, but that was it. Everything else looked fine. I figured if I didn't find that, Brad would, but he's not here. Our editor-in-chief. Right? Does everybody agree with that? Because it's an official agency, or I don't know if it's an agency, but
Yeah, that's right.
official council, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other comments about anything? No?
But it looks good.
Oh, what's that funny sound?
I don't know. Is that me?
Someone needs to mute, I think. And maybe, does someone have two devices on or something like that? Sometimes that happens.
I don't, but you were muted at that time, Kate, so I don't think it's you. Huh.
And it has stopped.
Yeah, okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion to accept the minutes with it as changed?
I'll make a motion. Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Pam, it does look like you have two devices on.
Oh yeah, you do. You're right. One of them's blacked out, but
Wait a minute. How could that be?
Pam, do you have your phone as well as your computer on?
No.
Okay.
want to try logging out and logging back in?
Okay.
See if that works.
Yep.
We can just wait on the vote then.
Yeah, see, something is still here called Pam. That's
Yeah,
thing
it is.
So I'll remove that person.
Thank you, Miriam. That's gonna be the,
Okay.
there we go.
Now just one of Pam.
Oh, now it's just one of Pam. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
All right.
Crazy.
Okay. So Pam, were you about to make a motion?
I was about to make a motion to accept the minutes as a word retrieval as amended.
Okay. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay. Elizabeth seconds. Okay, all in favor? We have to do a roll call. So Mel,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Michelle, yes. Okay, those are done.
And can I just bring something up about the June meeting minutes? I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for the final name policy. So I haven't been able to submit those.
Oh, I
Oh,
have it. I
okay.
have the finalized naming policy.
Oh, awesome. Could
I'll
you,
send it to you right now.
awesome. Thanks.
Okay,
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put my dog in the other room.
okay,
Come on here. Come on.
sounds good.
Come
The next thing on the agenda, and Marianne already knows about this, but it came to my attention that Elizabeth really wants to be on the grand opening committee, and we'd only talked about 2 people, so I just wanted to run it by everybody, see if that's okay, because it's not a quorum if we have 3 people, and she's already done some work by sending out the meeting notice. So is everybody okay with that? Because I remember when I brought it up, Pam and I were the only ones that seemed really strongly interested when Marianne said 2. Is everybody okay with
Sure.
Elizabeth? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, cool. We're done with that then. And then we have to wait till Marianne gets back. Let's do the quick
And I
things.
will say it was a little bit of a miscommunication on my end because you asked me to ask the friends to join the committee, and I sort of
Right, that's
that
true.
I took that as a opportunity to go forth and conquer, and then Marianne was like, "I think we should talk about this."
Yeah. So I was a
So
little
I'm sorry to
surprised.
jump in like that, but I do want to be honest.
It's okay because I just had to ask, well, what's a quorum? Because I thought only could have 2 anyway. So it's fine. The more the
Okay.
better because it's going to be a lot of work. And you already have taken some initiative, which is perfect. Okay. So let's do the quick things. So you want to talk about the black and white printer next, Marianne?
Right. So I've just been thinking about how to have, um, you know, generous access to printing and copying at the library in a way that we can afford, right? And printers are, um, even expensive printers are junk that jam up and print badly, and the
Yes.
ink costs a small fortune, right? So, and me being the person who's responsible for taking limited resources and stretch them as far as I can, I get overwhelmed by that sometimes. So I was talking to Gail Huntress and Graham Sefton from the Committee, and they're both techies, and we were just talking about the shortcomings of modern technology, mostly being printers. And they said, just get a black and white printer. If you just eliminate the color printing part of it, they can be much better machines, right? So then I said, okay, if we just get a black and white printer and a sort of a higher end one, we still just only have room for a countertop printer. So we don't have room for a freestanding copier of any kind. But we get a better one, that uses toner instead of ink, and that you can put a whole ream of paper in a tray at a time. Then we can let people print black and white copies generously to their heart's desire. As long as they're willing to pay a reasonable fee per page.
Mhm.
So, and it would be both an expansion of services, and because I would get one that people could print directly to wirelessly, from their own devices. So it would be an expansion of services in some way, but also a reduction in services because we would eliminate the providing color printouts. But most of the color printouts we end up providing are when somebody's printing a label or an application from a website or something and it has color on it. And then they don't necessarily want to pay for the color printout because they didn't need all of that color, but that's how it came. And so this would just print that stuff in black and white. And people wouldn't end up, either feeling like they should pay for a color printout or pay or using color ink and then not paying for it because it's not what they wanted. So that's what I'm thinking. I think we can get a higher quality, better operating printer that's just a black and white printer that will serve the community better. and will be less stressful for staff.
That makes sense to me.
Me too. I had a nice one in Amherst, and that was, now 6 years ago. But it was, yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole wing of preschool staff used it, and it was just a black and white printer. It was great. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Can I ask a question about that though? Marion, do
Yeah.
you ever need a color printer for like,
Well, we would still have a color printer for staff.
got it. Okay. I
Yes.
just wanted to make sure.
Yes,
right.
yeah, it just wouldn't be a color printer for the public.
Can I
I
ask
think
a question
Yeah,
about this? Would you still have a limit on the number of pages that people could make?
no,
No. So
no.
what happens if one person comes in and wants 400 copies and runs you out of ink or toner?
Well, you'd always have a backup toner, right? And so like the one printer that I've looked at already, 400 copies wouldn't run us out of toner. So,
Okay, just checking
yeah.
for a
Yeah,
hypothetical
yes,
situation.
that's good. Oh, no, go ahead. And I mean, and again, like, so I really think in the whole time I've worked at the library, I can only think of 2 times when somebody wanted to make more than a handful of copies, right? Um, so I think there's a possibility that somebody will come in and want to make 400 copies. The other thing I'd like to do is raise the price from 10 cents a copy to 15 cents a copy. Because even at that, I doubt we cover our costs, or we might cover our costs. And then you don't have somebody coming and making 400 copies because it's half the price as what they can do in town.
Yeah, so that was my question, is like how much do they charge now if you go somewhere? Anybody know?
I know at the Jones they charge $10, 10 cents. But I can look up Staples or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering, a place like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
I
it's
have
more
had
than
to
10
print
cents.
have had to print stuff there because it was just too much for my little printer, but I can't remember what they charged.
It
Be
does
nice to
seem,
get comparable.
sorry.
Go
It
ahead.
does seem to me reasonable that you might pay a little bit more here because of the convenience of not having to go to town.
Right.
And we don't have the economy of scale that they have at a big coffee shop. So coffee
It looks
shops,
like
that
it's
seems
24 cents a
reasonable.
page at Staples. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
Sorry, how much?
24. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
So yeah,
wow.
charge a little
That's-
more, Marianne. I think, yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
Kate. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go to 15 cents.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And
And
so
will the first few be free or something like that?
well, so we don't, no, usually we charge, but if somebody doesn't have a dime, we don't take their printout and tear it up, we just say, oh, get us next time or whatever, so I don't charge for tax forms and I don't charge kids for printing their homework.
Mhm.
But other than that, people pay if they have the coins,
Mhm.
and then if it's $1 worth, they give us the dollar. But we don't break a 20 for 10 cents.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and people don't have cash like they used to. But most people who print, most of the time pay for what they print. So yeah.
Okay. Do we need to take a vote on that because you want us to pay for the printer from the
No,
school?
no, it'll just come out of the
Okay.
the construction,
Okay.
FF&E budget.
Okay.
Can I ask,
Okay.
can I ask one more question? Does the library have a Venmo account?
No. And I don't think there's a way for the library to have a Venmo account. So, um, yeah,
Got it.
yeah. I know.
You could also have a little dish of coins in case somebody doesn't want to take all the change back and you have enough change, you know what I mean? So that if somebody doesn't have the 15 cents, they can just take it from the dish, kind of like the penny dish. I mean,
Right,
it's,
yeah,
I don't like to carry coins around, so
right, right. If it becomes an issue, it's not
yeah.
an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, So it's not an issue. So,
Okay. All right, that sounds good. Do you have any quick updates about anything before we delve into the meeting room policy, which will take
yeah,
meeting?
so I have started working on this. So October is, so I just submitted the financial reports. So that always feels good to have the state reporting done for the year. Michelle came and signed it. And I submitted it, so that's good. And October is when Cultural Council grant applications and New Salem Academy grant applications are due. So I just had um a a good solid idea for a New Salem Academy grant on Friday afternoon. So I'm working on that. And then with Cultural Council grants, I'm encouraging people to submit their own applications, and I'm writing letters of support. And then I will submit some applications, but instead of me submitting all of the applications, I've encouraged a couple of people to submit applications on their own to the Cultural Council for programs that they'll do at the library. And I'm giving them letters of support and saying that I will sponsor and host the programs. So we'll see how that goes. And then I will submit some grants, but I haven't done any yet. So I'll be busy doing those between now and October 15th. So just tonight, just before this meeting, the library building committee had a meeting because for quite some time I've been aware of the beautiful windows on our new library and how they will present a hazard to birds. And so we couldn't add, bird safe glass to the project when before we went out to bid because we were concerned about being able to move forward with the project. And then I've been doing a little bit of research about other things to do, and then we're near the end of the project and we still have contingency funds left. So we've decided to apply a product called feathered friendly film to the exterior of the windows. So it's a film that has white dots every 2 inches in a grid, and you apply it to the exterior of the windows and it prevents 94% of bird strikes. And so I don't know if any of you have bird strikes in your home. We have bird strikes in my home. I've tried all kinds of things on the windows. I have now learned that putting things inside the windows doesn't help at all. It has to be on the exterior, and it has to be a pretty consistent grid. So they've applied this film at the Hitchcock Center and at the Department of Fish and Wildlife in Hadley, if you want to drive by and see it in one of those places. And so this film will be applied before the building's open to the public, so it will always be the public's experience of the building. You see it less from the inside than you do from the outside, but it will affect people's experience of the windows, but it will save birds' lives. And we're building a building with very large windows in the middle of a wetland meadow and woodlands. It's a place where birds are going to be. We should protect them if we can. So
Great.
yes. So that's something that I've worked on. And then tomorrow morning. So have I told you that the well at the library, so the well is a public water supply. Have I talked about this and how it's subject to testing? So
Yeah.
tomorrow morning, I'm meeting with the certified well operator. The well pump is being installed tomorrow, but there aren't any plumbing fixtures yet. So anyway, but he's going to come and just sort of get the lay of the land and make sure that we have everything we need, and answer any questions that come up. And then, they haven't started installing the septic system yet, and the plumbing fixtures will be installed by the week of October 13th. But we have to do water testing and then radon testing before we open. So I'm working on those things. I have a vendor to do the radon testing. So, and this is, this is just stuff that is falling on me to do. It's not part of the construction project. So anyway, so those are all things I'm working on.
Looks like Kate has a question or a
Yeah.
comment.
Okay.
I know that, I think the only other public water supply in town is at the school. Is that right, Marianne?
Well, the school, actually the athletic club, has a
Mhm.
public water supply, the Pine Brook Camp, Serious
Okay.
Community. So
Yes,
you
there's
learn a
actually a
lot.
few.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because one
Um,
thing I wondered, like our neighborhood, we have like we try to coordinate sewage pump out.
Uh-huh.
Or we also try to coordinate sometimes chimney sweeping.
Mhm.
Or actually our chimney sweep does that, try just to
Uh-huh.
make sure they come and do
Right.
all of Shutesbury at once. I was wondering if there's any way to sort of plan that just to save on travel costs for
So,
other.
yeah, we're using the same, certified well operator as the school. So which to me made the most sense. Because it was already somebody who was coming to town and it was, so I spoke to the certified operator that does the club. And this certified operator, so there's a series of paperwork and plans and stuff that had to be developed. And if we went with the certified operator for the club, then I was going to have to find somebody to create all of that documentation or create it myself. And so this is Housatonic well operators or something, and this is what they do. And so to me, it made the most sense to use them because they
Yeah,
could
no
cover all
argument.
of our needs. Yeah.
No argument.
Yes. Yeah. So, but I did speak to the one that the club uses. And it was like, once I learned it, then I was like, okay, the school must do this. And then I was like, oh, the club must do this,
Mhm.
and of course, Mark Oshevsky he replied right away and told me who they used. And then, so we're in good shape. We just have to have the water operational so that they can take the samples and we can continue to move forward. So when they tested the well water, it didn't test positive for PFAS. They will test it again and continue to test. So now we don't have to treat the water in any way. But that could change and then we would have to put in a filter. Just because we are within there are wells all around it that do have PFAS. There are also wells that don't have it. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So anyway, so we're working on all of that, keeping the project moving along, and then doing the different testing. And I think I've ordered all the furniture that needs to be ordered. And then all of the broadband committee got a grant that paid for hybrid meeting equipment for the small study and a couple of nice laptops. And all of they're paying for the internet installation
Nice.
and the router and Wi-Fi extenders and the switch. And I've
Wow.
ordered all of that equipment. And they will reimburse us for that.
That's great.
Which is just great. So
True collaboration. I love it.
yes, yeah, they've been very helpful.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So,
Okay.
Mm.
Is there anything else? Are you ready to look at the Google Doc, which I'm not so great at like showing things if somebody else can show it.
I
And
can
then,
show it.
okay, and then
Pull it
we'll
up
figure
and
out
then,
who can edit.
yeah, let me pull it up.
I can edit it, I think.
Okay.
Oh, so
Usually-
then you should pull it up, Kate, if you're gonna, well, actually, I don't think you have to pull it up.
Yeah, but why
It-
don't I? Because
Okay.
it'll be
All
easier
right,
for people.
okay.
All right, of the 27 million tabs I have open,
Okay.
which is the one.
Sounds like me when I was working on this. I had all the tabs of all the libraries
Oh
open.
my gosh.
All those links that Marianne
I
sent
need
were
to,
so helpful.
Okay,
I need
Yep.
to be given sharing
Yep.
privileges.
I just did.
Thank you.
It was interesting to look to see the kinds of things that, who knows if their policy had some of these issues, some of these things initially, or if they ran into issues and decided to change it. But it was just interesting because they're all a little bit different. There are a
Yeah.
lot of common things, but
Yes.
Okay, I've just made everyone invisible so that I can see the whole screen. I just wanted to see, Michelle did a great job pulling up together a bunch of different policies, and then I sort of reorganized it a little bit, and then I just made some stuff up to try to help get the application process going for you, Marianne, just kind of what we call, forgive me, in my team, we call it a shitty first draft, so that there's something to react to, rather than just looking at blank screens. So, this is what it says right at the top, draft. All right, have
Good
at it,
place
y'all.
to start, Kate.
yeah. And so the beginning statement really was from our mission, from our bylaws. It was our mission statement, and that's what I pulled up to. I figured that's a good place to start, right?
You bet.
But Marianne already suggested Shutesbury Library users. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then in that case, I think it's not a capital L, because we're not talking about the building there,
Right,
right?
right.
Okay, and it's been a day. All right. I don't know whether people want to, Pam, I agree. I meant to cut this entirely. So
What
I'm
did it
just
say?
gonna
What did
delete
it
There
say?
that.
you go.
Wait, I'm
Yeah,
trying to read
just
it.
one way or the other.
So we've got kind of the same thing twice. So I thought it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah. I see that. Okay. Yeah,
okay,
you're
so
right. Yeah.
I think we should just cut the bullet.
You know, that was one thing I found really interesting is some of the libraries were rather repetitive, and I think it's just their way to hone in to people like this. These really are the rules. It was just interesting to me. But anyway, I don't think we need to say it more than once, but
Okay.
okay.
So I don't know whether I haven't looked at this today. Um, there were some things that we just don't know yet, right? We don't know, I don't know how many parking spaces.
Can you go back up a little bit though?
Of
Just
course,
that
yeah.
paragraph, the paragraph that we, okay. What?
Where do you want?
Purpose and priorities. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just make sure we all agree on that. So it was interesting. Only one town, I can't remember which one it was, actually had to clarify that you couldn't use it for birthday parties. They must have run into a problem.
And so that's a question.
I know.
So
Like,
why, so here we are in Shutesbury, and we are the only public place that we have that somebody could possibly use indoor space for a birthday party is the athletic club. And
mhm.
I know people who've had their children's birthdays at the athletic club. And I personally don't have any kind of an issue with that, but some people might not feel like that's where they'd want to have their child's
Mhm.
party. So why couldn't we consider that somebody could use it, that somebody could rent the meeting room and use it for a birthday party or a wedding, or a retirement party, and they pay some nominal fee, some kind of non-party that doesn't have alcohol, because we don't have anything else in town.
Right. But it was interesting that there was only one that said that. That's my point, is that they
Right.
must have had a problem. But um, what I was just thinking, there were a couple of libraries that did have fees for like if it was a business or a nonprofit, in which case if it was a birthday party or a retirement party or something, then you would charge a fee. But I figured that was like further down the line because this was already a lot that we're gonna be dealing with tonight. But that was another thing I did see in a number of places.
Right.
And
Okay.
one or two of them also said if you're gonna charge, if it's say an individual or something or a business, they can't charge a fee, but they could accept donations, but they still have to give a percentage to the library. So that was interesting also.
And I like the way that Leverett sort of presented it as a grid. I wonder if we could do that for our final draft where it says like, organization that's holding a library event free, and then it goes sort of to the more expensive ones if we're going to have more expensive ones like a for-profit company, that kind of thing was $50 for Leverett. But that was
Right.
it was a good visual.
I agree. I just felt like there was more than like we could get to tonight. But anyway, at least
Yeah.
that's more. I didn't have the time to get to that, but I did want to bring that up because a number of places did have some kind of fee that they charge for businesses or nonprofits or individuals. So
Okay.
yeah,
So that's good. So anyway, so the goal is not to complete this tonight.
I don't think
Right.
so. No,
Okay,
there's
I don't
just
good.
think
so
we
All right, so
can.
there's
that's
still
good.
so much to talk about.
All right, phew. Okay.
That's why I started by making that list of things to consider because there's
Yeah.
some bigger
Yeah.
issues in there that I found in other library policies that I thought we
Yeah.
needed to get to. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, can
Okay.
I really like your idea of things to consider. Because like a fee schedule is one, clean up,
Yeah.
other parameters are, and there was just outside of the scope of where we got to so
I
far.
have that open, so I'll just add that.
Yeah, but I do wonder whether we might just want to work on the draft we have now instead
No,
of,
I'm gonna just make a note just so we don't
okay,
forget.
great, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Great.
Okay, so back over here, I mean, the one thing that I will say is that it seems to me that birthday parties are one thing, but weddings are a whole nother ballgame. Big, in large part because of the amount of time that it usually takes to set the room up and to clean it up again. And that may mean that like, if somebody wants to have a wedding on Saturday, you might, that might block use for like a whole weekend or something. So just something to think about when we
Right.
do get in to
Right.
like how, not just the day itself, but the total setup and turn
Right.
on time.
Right. I do know a librarian who had a wedding ceremony in one library and a reception in another.
That's so
And,
beautiful.
Okay.
and so, and yes, and I think we'll become a wedding venue? No, but, um, but, but what if somebody came to us and wanted something like that, and they were having a wedding with 25 guests, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not, this is not a big venue. So
Right.
like I was like reading all this stuff and I was like, I want it to be more accessible than,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but we may find that some things are just pie in the sky and we can't do that. And yeah, so, okay. That's fine.
So, there are probably, I just sort of clearly in bold and, like underlined, punted other rules about policies, fire codes, etc.
Right.
I don't know how comprehensive or whether we can refer to other documents or what, but like, you
Right.
can't park in front of a fire door or whatever, the thing's gonna be.
Right. So, and this is, so there are, I mean, if you want to put, there are 12 spaces and then I think there are 8 overflow spaces along the driveway. And then we're in conversation with the highway department about, overflow parking at the highway department for events when the highway department isn't in use. So the highway department is closed after 4 p.m. They're not there on the weekends. In the summer, they're not on, they're on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So the library will plan larger programs during those times. Because then it'll be easy to park, for people to park at the highway department. And, but we're just, we've had some conversations and nothing is, set in stone yet, but we have an agreement. So,
So I think we should just punt that until the
Right.
agreement's codified and then we can
Yes.
pull it in, right?
Yes.
So are you
Yes.
okay with how I edited it? Parking at the library is limited. I just guessed, Marianne, 12 stall spaces and
Yes.
8 along the driveway.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so once that gets worked out, then we could add the other piece about parking across the street. So
Right.
one of them, I think it might have been Hadley talked about, maybe you might need to get police. And I thought, yeah, what if there was a really huge event and it's at night? But crossing that road is not
Can't be
that
that
easy.
big because the
So
room's not that big.
that's something to think about.
Right, but our meeting room seats 50, and
Uh-huh,
then, well, it seats 49, and then there's room for 15 overflow seats
uh-huh,
in the lobby.
uh-huh.
So that's as big, other than like a grand opening celebration, the events won't be huge.
Uh-huh.
And, and not, so if there are 50 people who come, not all 50 are gonna have a car.
We can encourage carpooling. People will get that after a while
Yes,
too, I think.
yes, okay.
But anyway, that was just a
Jen-
thought about crossing that road. I mean, having worked on the berm for the garden club, it's like people just whiz right by, even when you have cones out there.
So Marianne, given, I just put approximately 50 for theater style seating. Are you okay with that?
Yes,
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then you had that other question there, Kate, about about
I think
complying
maybe we need to punt that, right? Because,
about the fire
well,
code.
or maybe we don't. I don't know. When you look at other policies, you've done a comparison, others have done more of a comparison. Do we assume that people comply with like fire codes and stuff like that? Or
yes,
we do? So we
yes,
don't need to put any of that bumps in.
right.
Okay, done. I might make this town bodies just because bodies by itself sounds so freaky.
I know. I bet the town body, I was trying to think what other word could be used by that, a committee or council or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, we call them mostly committees here in this town. Yeah,
Are you
bodies.
okay with that? Town committees hereafter should I just do that? I was trying to find something that covered all of them, but would that be okay?
They're mostly all committees, right?
Well, some of us are boards.
Select board. I can't think of who else is. Finance committee.
You could put a
Concom.
slash boards, committee
I was
slash
trying to just keep it short.
simple.
I think committees is fine. If that's mostly what I think of what we call them, I can't think of many boards. Well, there's a school committee. They meet at school though. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, so Marianne, like I started to get myself a little confused. Are we gonna have a different policy for the small study room, or would this apply, some of this apply to the other one? Because when I was writing it, I was like, okay, well, obviously the little study room is not open after hours, so
Right.
anyway,
I
but,
think
but
we'll
some of
have
the
to
same
make a
policies.
separate one for the small
Okay,
study.
okay.
And because that seats 4.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And,
oh,
yeah,
that's a mistake I have. I had 6.
yes,
I had no
yeah,
idea.
right. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and of course, other libraries have bigger or more study rooms, so I wasn't
Right.
really sure.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um,
Okay.
and with the small study, like I think with the big meeting room, it's fine to have, a thing where people have to book that by a week in advance, right? But with the small study, I would like it to be that somebody could come in and it's not being used and they could say, could I use that room?
Yeah.
And we would say, yes, but somebody's got it reserved at 4. You can have it then.
Yeah.
So I think we can have more flex, if nobody's using that room, the door will just be open and somebody could choose to go and sit in there.
Mhm.
And if it was booked, we can have some kind of a schedule, a whiteboard or something on the board and then say reserved, at this time today. So
Oh,
people
that
can
makes
know.
sense. Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
um,
You want Okay, so that is actually kind of a separate scope because we
It is.
didn't write anything about booking the small room in here at all. So that would
Right.
suggest another
We could,
edit.
that could be a
Right. And
separate.
initially, I was
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about including both of them, but then I realized it could be very different.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So what did you like? I put a minimum of 7 days, but I thought, is there some time that you might need more? That's why I thought the 14's preferred, just to make it. I don't know. I was trying to think of like the worst case scenario where somebody comes in and you're out, and I don't know.
right. Well, I think we can do it like that. We can say a minimum of
Okay.
7 days, though 14 is preferred.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
And some of the policies also say like the library will respond within 3 days, 3 business days or something like
Right.
that,
right,
which maybe
yes,
is good to not have many follow-up calls all the time.
right.
Yeah.
And then there are things like, say I'm on vacation, there will be somebody who is trained and tasked with managing this.
Right.
Okay,
Right. I assume that, but I just wanted to make sure
yes,
that
yes,
you wouldn't,
Yeah.
just in case you need more wiggle room than 7 days if something
Right.
is super busy or
right,
whatever.
yes.
Okay.
So do you want library staff will respond to applications within 5 business days?
Yes,
And I already made that edit for 3 months for you, Marianne.
thank you, yeah.
And then, just to be clear, I think other libraries have this applicant's 18 years old thing. And then I'm like, ooh, Marianne's gonna want the teens. I just had this hunch. And then I'm like, so I'm gonna make something up, which
Okay,
she'll
good.
react to. So that's
Yeah.
where we are here. I don't know if that's
Okay.
where we're ready to
All
be.
right, that's
But let
good,
me just, before we
good.
go racing down there, I just wanted to see, is there any other feedback that anybody has about stuff that we haven't sort of looked at together yet?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else got anything else? We went through parking, we're kind of in,
Yep.
okay.
So I'm wondering if there's another section about requirements for the room, like that you have to put all the chairs back. Did we already talk?
We didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there's gonna need to be, I mean, I sort of referred to it because
Yeah.
I've said and restoring the room. But actually, Miriam, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna pull all this application bump into a comment.
Mm-hmm,
Because you should do that, right?
right,
I didn't want to lose it in case the thinking's useful,
right,
but oh no, can't do it that way. Have to
Yeah,
attach
you
my
can't
comment.
just, I was gonna
I
say,
can't delete the stuff for, ooh, no, 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 no.
oh yeah, you can't just make it
I
as a,
can't delete it if it's a comment. Um, Marianne, you'll know what to do when you get that, when you get
yeah,
there. Once you've got
yeah,
what you need, you can delete it.
right.
yeah, what you're saying, Elizabeth, I felt like I had no idea of what the equipment's gonna be, and I felt like that Marianne needed to do that more. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I wonder, my thought would be just to copy it exactly from another library and then we can edit it as we get it in, just so that we don't forget it, maybe.
Mm-hmm,
Like,
we won't
like
forget.
Shutesbury Library has 40 chairs. You know, a lot of the libraries say specifically everything that they have so that people can use them, and then say exactly what they need to do to in order to leave the room basically exactly the way they found it.
Right, and that's a whole section in a lot of them, so I think there's
right,
plenty. Yeah,
right.
I didn't get that far. I thought I was gonna work on it today, but I had an excruciating headache, so I didn't get to it.
So
But
what we could do though is put a section in here that's like rules and regulations for facilities, because we've already got. Okay, and then we could have other facilities, TK.
I mean, that's something that Marianne can work on, or we can also assist by, looking at stuff that the way other people have put it together. But yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I just
all of
wanted
them
to,
are very specific.
right, I just wanted to put a space in there, so like Elizabeth's saying, we don't forget.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
You-
right,
Yeah.
right. One thing I liked in Hadley's is that people have to remove their trash.
Yes,
And I wondered what you thought of that, because
That
we
makes sense.
have very limited, we'll have very limited janitor service and very
Yeah.
limited storage space. And there are times in town hall when a committee will have a meeting and they'll have food and there are pizza boxes and soda bottles and I think we should welcome people bringing food in, but that they should remove their trash.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
So what about the floors, Marianne, if people have food or cookies or crumbs or children who get, I mean, you can sweep up the floor. Is the expectation that it will look just the way it was before they came, where the floor gets mopped or,
Yes,
you know what I mean? That's
yes,
what I would think. I would hope so, because
yeah,
otherwise it's gonna fall on,
right,
yeah,
on library staff,
library
right,
staff.
yes,
I'm pretty sure one of the libraries had exactly that, Pam. That's how they stated it, was it needed to be look just like
I
it did
would
when.
be very explicit about that.
Yes. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. I agree.
right. Like the room should be in the same condition that it was in when they
Right,
found it.
right.
And Marianne, you had mentioned also about a deposit for a cleaning fee. Can you explain that? What
So
you're
what
thinking?
some places do is they'll take a deposit for a cleaning fee. And then if things are, if they've left the room like they should, there's no glitter glue on the tables and they removed their trash, then they get their $50 back.
Yeah.
That's kind of a standard thing.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
Makes total sense.
yeah,
It's not a huge amount, and they get it back, and it's
right,
reasonable.
right. So, and this would be, like this wouldn't be, the broadband committee if they asked to use the room for a meeting. It would be, the financial advisor giving a presentation and serving cookies, and then they would clean up after, so they've paid us to be there. Plus they paid a cleaning deposit, and if they didn't clean, then they don't get their deposit back.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we could follow some rules like this, like storage space is not available. Tables must be covered when glue, paint, or other marking materials are used. Like that can be
Yes,
Right,
taken just from
Yeah.
other
right,
Yeah. If
nothing but
other,
nothing may be hung on the walls. Oh, and one
right.
other thing that some of the policies have that we should probably talk about is that some community rooms have art exhibits in them. Will we have that?
Yes,
yes.
Another policy we'll have
oh,
to
wonderful.
yes,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah,
some policies say, like, if you'd like to have your art put up in the community room, then please refer to the art committee
Can
or
I
whatever.
retire before we have to do that?
Okay. All right. So are we done with this section?
I just kind of put a bunch of notes. This needs a lot of work, essentially.
Yeah.
It seems like others have looked at good language, stuff we want to pull in. Yeah. And then I think these are so the stuff about cleaning and fees and the fee stuff is surely trustee governance work, but like I think a lot of the stuff is more operations, but this, like what it takes to have a successful application, that's really governance to my mind. So could we just talk about that bit,
yeah,
Michelle?
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Wait, what happened to your kids here, Marianne? Did they disappear?
No, they're still here. Your cursor's right at them. So, oh, but my comment about it, yeah, I don't know what happened to my comment.
Yeah, sometimes they don't line up really well. I was
Yeah.
having trouble.
Oh, here we go. Here was your
Okay.
comment. Do they need this? I don't know, Marianne, this is up to you. I would
Okay.
love teens to be able to use this space, but honestly, my experience of teams is not necessarily that they're gonna leave it the way they found it. So if you've got a whole cleaning thing, I
So
Just-
here's what I think. I think
Yeah.
that, so say there is a young feminist club from the high school, and they want to have a meeting at the Shutesbury Library, right, to make posters for their rally, right? So I would think that we would welcome and encourage them. And maybe young feminists, maybe like a Dungeons and Dragons club, or and I think that first of all, I don't think it's gonna be 50 people. I think it's gonna be 6 or 8.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna be, so my experience with teens has only been good.
I mean, mine too, except for the
Yeah.
crumbs.
So I think we welcome them until we have a problem. And
Mel's got
then,
It looks
Sorry.
Yeah.
like Mel has a comment or a question. Go ahead, Mel.
okay,
I mean, I defer to you, Marianne, on this, obviously, but I think that you might be asking for trouble with that. And I think that it's reasonable to expect that a parent, an adult, would rent the space, especially when there's like a cleaning deposit involved.
well, but I would think that this wouldn't necessarily be a rental situation. So I don't think like a teen birthday party without adult supervision. I think a teen club um is a different thing.
I
Uh,
Yeah, I disagree. I think that there's going to be like glitter everywhere, and there's going to be. I think that you're gonna. I think that it should be the same.
Is there any liability issues with having them come without a parent?
Well, I can just say that I saw in others that it said that there needed to be a sponsor, and I feel like also who's going to lock up the building?
I mean, that's kind of what I thought, was that a sponsor would go and make sure that the
Yeah,
door was open, and then the sponsor would,
yeah.
harass them to
You
Okay,
clean
have
up.
to have a
so
responsible
under that
adult.
case, actually in that case, if it's somebody signing a legal document, it needs to be somebody 18 or older. And then Hadley had that whole legal document about, holding, we should include that whole legal document part in the
Holding
first assignment
harmless and all of
application.
that.
Yeah, all of that. That
Okay.
was all
Yeah, I
standard
saw that
language, and I
too.
think we should include that. And so a 16-year-old can't sign something like that. So,
Yeah.
And
um,
also,
We're gonna- Sorry.
also a use agreement. A lot of places had a use agreement too to make sure that people are clear about what the rules and
We've
expectations
got
are.
that up
yeah.
here, sign the room use agreement.
Yeah, we just need to make the
Yes.
form that we don't have that.
Oh,
That's what I
Right.
meant.
there needs to be one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. But yeah, the application will be the agreement,
Okay, okay.
it'll be all in one. By submitting this application, you agree to these rules. These,
Oh, so actually submitting the application constitutes agreement to all rules and regulations,
Yeah.
correct?
right.
Okay.
I mean, I submit applications to use the school, and it's, all the information is there on 2 pages.
Perfect. Okay.
So,
And you said that it'd be easy for you to do that?
oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Mine is, I'm gonna make a Google form.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it'll be much easier for people.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, someone who has good experience with forms, online forms would be good at that.
Yes.
That's you. Okay.
Yeah. I'm surprised by it myself. So, so, because,
God, I was just learning how to use all the Google stuff like when we
yeah,
had a pandemic. So like I haven't
yeah,
had much application since then.
yeah. So,
Except Google Drive, I can use that.
yeah,
So, I guess, Marianne, then I'm just gonna, what would your preference be? Because like I said, I just made stuff up. Would
right.
you, I mean, it seems to me that, you could do 14 to 17 if there's a parent coming up and,
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
or, a adult sponsor.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make it that then.
Okay.
Cause right, you wanna include the teenagers.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I sharing this screen or not? I keep going back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are. We can see it.
Okay.
Is there anything else on the application then that needs to be there, Marianne?
Well, we were gonna leave the sort of actual stuff of the application to Mary Ann.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to know which kinds of things she thought might need to be on there that we didn't find somewhere else. That's all.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my grant applications and then come back to
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like we're opening tomorrow or next week.
yes, right. And the other thing is too, it's, so we'll probably have a soft opening. But it may be that we're not quite ready to launch this right when we open, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that we
Yeah.
need to get open and then practice using our HVAC system for a couple of weeks before we say, okay, now we can, here's our meeting, room policy or something. So anyway, but I'm really glad we're working on it because there's a lot to it and there's a lot to consider.
Yeah, there really
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
I'm aware of the time. I feel like we
Yeah.
got a good way through this, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
For
so just in
overnight.
talking about like other things we need to do, one of the things I found was Hadley and possibly
Yes.
Wendell referred to the American Library Association Bill of Rights. That's something we should do at some point to look at that, probably, because I don't know what they are.
Should I stop sharing now? Are we done with this for tonight?
I think so. We pretty much reached the bottom.
Anybody have anything else before I do that?
No, looks pretty
But
good for
Michelle,
a nap.
a lot of those policies refer to that, and so maybe we can just
I
sort
think we
of,
should look at it at some point, yeah, because I'm not familiar with it at all. That's why I brought it up. Okay.
It's a great
Right.
idea.
Okay, well,
basically saying we can let anybody use the space even if we don't agree with them. Sort of, to paraphrase.
And that everybody, it's the American libraries. I think the Friends of the Library refer to it in some of their documentation. But it's everything we believe about libraries. They're for everyone. There are, everybody has access to the materials that matter to them. You know, uh, it's just,
yeah, it's something we
anyway,
should look
yeah.
at it. We've never looked at it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so what do we need to do for the next meeting then?
Set a date.
Yes, we do need to do that.
Pull up my calendar.
Is there anything from that we need to look at too? Like, to keep working on? No.
I didn't get that whole question, Michelle.
Is there anything else in the document we were just looking at besides what you're gonna do with the application that we need to look at for the next meeting?
So are you going to add any more to it, or do you want me to take it from here?
I guess it depends what's left. You're gonna do the application thing, and the cancellation policy, we didn't really get to that, I don't think, did we? I can't
No.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we could talk about that next time.
Yeah,
Let's see what else we can get to. You're gonna do the application.
There's a lot to come, actually.
Yeah,
If you-
there is.
If you look in the comments,
Yeah. Okay, why don't we just draft the agenda from the comments then, because it's hard to do it right now. I'm not looking at it, but
can I ask is this the way we should do it?
what do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Never mind. It just feels like a lot of time.
Well, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
We want to get it right, so nobody feels
Yeah.
like they're left out or they're not clear.
No, I agree.
What other policies do we need to do, Mary Ann, before the new
Um,
building opens? or the day after?
I don't know. I mean, I was looking at Hadley's list of policies and it's shorter than ours. And but I have a list at the library. Well, let me see if it's at the library or if it's in my Google Docs. Of things. I think it's at the library. Uh um um of things that need to be done or things, let's see, draft meeting room.
Yeah, I didn't get to doing the patron rights and the employee rights that I said I would do. And probably employee rights have to go through the personnel committee probably, right? But we could, we could work
Yeah.
on, I could work on that because I said I
Right,
would do it months ago and then I had my knee replacement, so I didn't get to it.
right,
You've been busy or
um,
something?
right. Um, so, so I don't really know of any other policies related to the new building other than this.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
and a small study room policy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and,
Well, sounds like you've already got good ideas about that, and that'd be way
yeah,
simpler because it's
yeah,
less people.
right.
Can I ask
And
a question about, sorry, Michelle, I didn't mean to interrupt
no, go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
About the kitchenette,
Yeah.
is that, there's nothing about that in this policy. Is that separate to the meeting room use? Do we, I think we should probably be really, really clear about.
Right. That was something that was in Hadley's language too, like they were saying you could use, so we're gonna have a sink, a small refrigerator and a microwave. And there's no dishwasher. And then in Hadley's it said you could bring in food, you can't have open flames. Um, and it said that you had to bring all of your own paper goods, paper plates. And I think that we should say that.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Do you want me to just add that, or
Mm-hmm.
do you want me
Yeah.
to take care of doing that? I mean, it's up to you. You've got a lot to do, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
I
seeing
mean,
that.
so we made a lot of suggestions and a lot of comments tonight. Who's going to incorporate all of that stuff? Do you want me to do that or are you going to continue working on it?
I can do it, but if you're gonna do
Okay.
the application part, yeah, you could do all that because you know what you want on it.
Yeah, I'll do the application and
Yeah.
then
You
I'll
want me to
have
do the
that.
application on Google Forms, Marianne?
If you want to get started, because you can start it and then I can always
I'll make
edit
it
it.
on my Google account, and then I'll just
Okay,
copy it over to you, and you can make whatever changes you want.
excellent. That'd be great. Good.
Great.
Okay,
Perfect. Okay. All
good.
right. I'll work on the adding the kitchenette. I just saw Wendell's today because I was working on political postcards at their library and had never seen it before. It's like a little room.
I know they have a nice,
Yeah.
kitchenette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that it's a little separate like that.
Yeah. I had never seen it. And so I
Yeah,
was like, what are they going in
yeah,
there? What's in there?
yes, yeah,
Okay. I'll do that. I'll do the little kitchenette
okay,
part from Hadley
yeah,
and I'll clean up what I can on the other one.
okay,
If I have questions, I'll just ask.
okay. Right, and now that it's a Google Doc, everybody can see it, so people can go
Right.
in and put comments.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
good.
Right, yes, okay.
Yes, please. There's been a discussion of like needing some Google Doc hygiene, like creating a new folder. Marianne, the last thing I'm gonna do is give you a thing to do, but I actually think that the library's repository needs to sit with the library. Rather than with a trustee who could cycle on and off. That's kind of what happened to
Mm-hmm.
us, I think, with previous Google Docs. So I don't think that this is something we need to do now. I think this is
Right.
something we could do months after the new library is open, but I do think that like just taking a look at Google Doc hygiene and how we want to manage shared documents
Hmm.
probably would be a good thing for us to do.
Makes
Okay.
total sense because I had a hard time figuring out where it was. I had to ask.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was like from Karen.
It's from a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, really long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
pick a date then.
yeah.
Mondays are usually okay for me. It depends what other people have.
We're doing
13th.
late in
Sorry.
October or
Yeah, we usually do later in October, so 2027.
20th would be good for me, I think.
I'm not available the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a good day. Is there,
the 27th is fine, or the 21st is fine, which is a Tuesday, but the 13th and the 27th are Mondays, and those both work for me.
Either of those work for me, 21st or the,
13th is Indigenous Peoples' Day. Could we do the 27th?
That works for me.
yep.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
And
Yeah.
that
Hope it works
is,
for Brad.
that's actually better because it's after all the grant applications are due. So, because that, that's all I'm gonna have time to do. With construction and fundraising and actually running the library and then grant applications. That's all I'll be able to do between now and October 15th.
Yeah, that gives
You
everybody
think?
more
Then I
time.
can go
Good
back
idea.
to this. Okay.
Okay.
Marianne,
Okay.
who's the New Salem Academy grant for, or it's not public yet?
Who am I applying for it for?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, so what I'm gonna do is apply for a series of art programs
Oh,
for
okay.
adults, and it's gonna be 5 or 6 different instructors. So it's not any one thing. It's a series of educational art programs.
Cool.
Okay,
Ooh.
yeah.
Great. All right, and so is it this Friday that's the dinner?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, it's coming up fast. Okay.
What dinner is that? I'm sorry.
The lasagna dinner
Lasagna dinner.
fundraiser.
Friends of the Library lasagna dinner.
Did you end up getting enough lasagnas?
We'll have enough lasagnas.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
okay.
I've made it in the past, but I felt like making dessert, so I signed up for a dessert.
That's great. A dessert is fine too.
Okay,
So,
great. Just I'm glad you
thank you
had
for
enough.
everybody who contributes. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
okay.
night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks. Okay. Okay.